Donald Trump did an interview on Newsmax with Greg Kelly, and as you can imagine, it was a softball interview, which created a moment that was so strange and uncomfortable to watch, where I guess Greg Kelly is asking the one question he considers to be slightly tough for Trump, which it's not that tough of a question, but you can tell, as I'm about to show you, that Greg Kelly, the Newsmax host, is really nervous to ask it and keeps licking his lips in a very strange way. That's not the most substantive critique, I get it, but it's what I noticed in a blatant fashion. So here's this. The question is, this is really some aggressive journalism. Are you overconfident because of how incredibly you won when people thought you're going to lose? Huh?
Two more quick things. Want to respect your time. In 2016, you did the opposite of what the political professionals would recommend, almost every turn, and you won. And that's amazing. That's a testament to you. But is there such a thing as overconfidence? I mean, you've been right a lot, but nobody's right all the time. Is there such a thing as overconfidence? Are you, at this point, tough to advise? Or, I know you got great advisors, but did you learn some negative lessons by being right when they were wrong? And you might think, well, I'm always right. They must always be wrong.
Sir, I apologize that I have to ask this, but they tell me I need to at least pretend like I'm doing an actual interview. So here's my tough question. Were you so right that now just how incredible you are can cloud your judgment? Just go ahead. Answer that for me, sir.
Wrong.
Well, they do have a hat on, and I don't produce it, somebody else. Trump was right about everything. I mean, if you look at all of these many things, I've been right about everything. I've been right about immigration.
But the little things, tactics and things like that.
But, look, I listen to a lot of very smart people. I listen to people that aren't so smart, and you find out they're not smart later on. Look, I've had people that are great working for me, but I've also had people where it was a mistake having them.
Yeah. Nice job wasting a bunch of words to say nothing. I listen to smart people. I listen to not smart people. I listen to good workers. I listen to not good workers. Sometimes I hire good people. Sometimes I hire bad people. But I say that I only hire good people. I only hire the best, but actually I hire the worst. Quite often they turn out to be rhinos. But what was your question, Greg? By the way, he says he was right about everything, right? He said they, quote unquote they, I guess his followers wear hats, which this is true, and shirts that say Trump was right about everything. Let's just flash back for a second. Everything?
We've done really an extraordinary job when you look at a country this size with so many people pouring in. We're the number one in the world for people coming into a country by far. And we have a total of 15 cases. And again, when you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, that's a pretty good job we've done.
When 15 cases will soon be zero. They didn't go from 15 to zero, as we all know. Instead, over 1 million people ended up dying. So, right about everything. And that's just one example. Then moving on to other moments in this same interview.
Beautiful, but it was in the middle of a rally that the other side's not seeing, networks aren't carrying it. To reach out to them, to the people who've been lied to about you, how are you going to do that? And are you going to show another side to yourself or change anything?
So, during my tenure, we had the most successful...
Again, what is happening, Greg? You're embarrassing yourself. Are you going to reach out to the people that have been lied to about you? Are you going to do something different to win over the people who don't like you? But they don't like you not because there are things to not like about you, sir. They don't like you because people have lied to them about you. So then what could Trump do differently, right? They just need to stop lying about him. He shouldn't change his ways if his ways are perfect and he's just being lied about. Here's his answer.
We had the most successful economy in history. And it's very interesting.
Yeah, you came in and oversaw the continuation of Obama-era economic trends, the expectation of how the economy was going to go. Then a crisis hit the United States. You failed to handle it. Everything fell apart. Then Biden took over and oversaw a stunning economic recovery from the shambles that you left him. Here's more. And this is Trump showing us just how much of a craftsman he is with the English language.
Are you ever lonely?
So I was, over the years, I love history.
Wait, what? I missed the beginning of that. Are you ever lonely? Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, the lower third chyron says, is it lonely at the top? Yeah, right. But it's the CNNs of the world who are fake news.
Are you ever lonely?
So I was, over the years, I love history. I study history. And I was always told that Andrew Jackson, as
No one studies history like Trump studies history.
president, was treated the absolute worst. He was just really lambasted. And I heard Abraham Lincoln was second, but he was in a thing called the Civil War, so you can understand that. But Andrew Jackson was really, really treated badly. In fact, his wife died during the process. I mean, a lot of people say she died because of the way they were treated. I mean, she was heartbroken and broken in so many other ways.
Broken in so many other ways.
And I heard that for years. And I look now, even last night I was saying it, I said, I don't care, Andrew Jackson or anybody else, nobody has, when you think of the fake things, nobody's been treated like Trump in terms of badly. Russia.
Quote, nobody has been treated like Trump in terms of badly. Profound stuff there. Also, clearly he doesn't study history or doesn't have the correct takeaways from history. If his takeaway from Andrew Jackson's presidency is Andrew Jackson was being treated so poorly, not the victims of the Trail of Tears initiated by Andrew Jackson. And also, he brought up Abraham Lincoln, who notably was assassinated, as a part of his point about how no one has been treated like Trump in terms of badly. Yikes. Here's Trump on his VP potential candidates.
Congratulations, you won early.
That's right.
Vice President, are you any closer? Have you ruled anybody out?
Yeah, I probably have a couple of people that you may know very well. Some people that I didn't think behaved properly. Yeah, I think I've ruled some people out, but I've ruled a lot of people in. We have a lot of great people in the Republican Party.
Good. Ruling lots of people in. Now, by behaved improperly, when he says some of them haven't behaved properly, he might be referring to Pence. You know, I would have selected Pence, but he did this really irritating thing where he was like, Trump, I think we should still have democracy. You know, I'm sort of okay with the Constitution staying in place. I'm not going to install your fake electors. It just was really not the correct behavior for a vice president, you know, being for the most basic execution of our Constitution in our democratic process. And then something it's all so blurry, but something happened early January that sort of divided me and Pence. You know, there was just a crowd chanting something about Pence that really wasn't great. But yeah, he behaved incorrectly. Here's more about Biden's State of the Union address.
Gets up and makes a speech the other day. He's screaming at everybody like a lunatic. And everybody said, oh, he made it. You know, he made it. He made it through, barely. He made it through the speech, and he was all jacked up. And you just wonder what's going on. This is a very dangerous time for our country.
I love whenever Trump clearly runs out of a point. He's making a point and then goes, and you know, what am I even saying? This is a very dangerous time for our country, and just sort of goes back to his normal talking point. It's a dangerous time because Joe Biden was energetic at his State of the Union address, when he knew that more people would be watching him than any other speech. Yeah. Usually, you're going to be motivated to deliver a good speech then. And I have to say, this now new talking point of he was too jacked up, love it. Go for it. Sean Hannity used that terminology. Now Trump saying he was all jacked up. Say it. Do you think any American will like Biden less for you calling them or calling him jacked up? No. That'll be great. He went from Sleepy Joe to Jacked Up Joe. And I do love that clearly Biden nailed the speech so effectively that that's the response to it. And we've heard people speculating that he was on drugs. Again, that's a political winner for Biden. People being like, oh, it was so good that drugs. Here's another clip.
The Hunter Biden stuff is bad, let's face it. And if you believe the laptop from hell, there's a lot of money that's been exchanged, and it's a lot of money and seems like a lot of proof. They're going to find out, and they certainly have found out, because look, a lot of money has been exchanged, and from a lot of different countries, including China, and that's serious stuff.
The millions of dollars, is you're referring to the millions of dollars he received from the Chinese government while he was president through his businesses? Oh, he's talking about Joe Biden. Yeah, that didn't happen. The quote-unquote laptop from hell just proved that Marjorie Greene is willing to take nude photos off of that and show them of Hunter Biden to hurt Joe Biden somehow on national television like a crazy person. But they've purportedly had access to Hunter's laptop for so long now and still can't put forward a shred of evidence of Joe Biden's wrongdoing of any sort. Whereas, again, Trump, there's actual evidence of him receiving tons of money, millions, from foreign governments through his businesses while he was president of the United States, but Republicans don't care. Then just yet another example of Trump saying things that could very likely be played back at one of his trials.
I took him very legally, and I wasn't
referring to documents.
I took him very legally, and I wasn't hiding them. We had boxes on the front of and a lot of those boxes had clothing, and we're moving out, okay? Unfortunately, we're moving out of the White House. And because we're moving out of the White House, our country's going to hell. But
do you remember when the story initially broke? Just remember this, because part of what's great about being a right-wing conspiracy theorist is that you can throw out all these different contradictory talking points, and because life moves on quickly and the news cycle chugs forward, we can forget that you had all these previous dishonest talking points and that now you're contradicting them. But let's remember, when the FBI raid initially happened, as they call it, or the execution of that search warrant, Trump was saying they're planting these documents, and some of his right-wing allies were saying things to that effect, or that he didn't know he had them and somebody else must have taken them, one of his staff members. And then it was, I had documents, but they weren't classified. And now it's, I took them, but it was legally. You should have gotten straight on your story before spitting out all these different arguments. And then last clip here, he just can't let go of Hillary Clinton.
It's egregious what he did. But by the way, they released Hillary Clinton. She hammered her phones. She used all sorts of acid testing and everything else. They call it bleach bit, but it's essentially acid that will destroy everything, within 10 miles. I mean, what she did was...
Wait. Let me get this clear. She, within 10 miles, that's what she did to destroy her phones? She nuked her phones? What?
Unbelievable. Nothing happens to her. Nothing happens to Bill Clinton. He took it out in his socks. It was the famous socks case, which he actually ended up winning.
Personal items, not government classified documents, completely different, not proving the point you think that you're proving. So there it is. What an interview. My goodness. Greg Kelly, nervous. The one quote unquote tough question he tries to ask, are you too overconfident because you're so right? Could that be hurting you somehow? As he's licking his lips. I don't know why that's what I picked up on so much, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you would please click the like button, that would be greatly appreciated.